one class for a single quarter, and I was waitlisted for 2 other classes, and I didn't get into either of those classes, and I needed those classes to graduate, so I ended up having to take another class next semester to add on to that load.
Never depend on waitlisting to attain a full load. Never. That's going to be, you are going to be going through hell the first week of classes.
After that wait list from the records office is closed, it's sent to the departments, and more specifically the instructors are given those wait lists. They're actually purged from our system and given to the faculty, and from there they're the ones who we would decide who enrolls and who doesn't.
I don't think there is. I don't think our department has any guidelines, or our College of Agriculture, as far as I know, has any guidelines. They put all that into the hands of the faculty, because it is a hassle and they don't want to get involved, I suppose.
Not that I've ever seen in an official communique, and we discussed that at the beginning of all of my courses. Students give me their own reports as to what they've heard with regard to policy issues, and generally the consensus is that there is no policy.
As far as I know, there are no real rules, and I think people do it different ways.
If they want to follow the waitlist order, they can. If they don't want to, they don't have to. And I think that most professors look for graduating seniors or majors. I know some of them do funny things like lotteries, or highest card from the deck. So it's totally the teacher's prerogative how they handle waitlisting.
We'll move to students who contacted me and the students who are showing up. So again, that's always very different from who's on the wait list, which is why, at least as far as I'm concerned, usually the wait list is very irrelevant.
When the students stand up and present their own Socratic arguments to the rest of the class, it always turns out, invariably, that the students produce all sorts of morally relevant factors. They have various legitimate reasons as to why they're not on the wait list or lower on the wait list. And I find that the students are really the best jury to sort through those arguments. And we have an interaction, a philosophical discussion on it, and after which we vote.
And on those wait lists, I try to look through and say, well, if in my classes, for instance, I'm preparing people to become teachers, and so there's a prerequisite they have to have at least junior standing. So if I have some that are juniors and seniors, I often do give priority to seniors, knowing that a junior could wait a little longer before taking the class as well.
Typically, I try to add them all. Our classes are mostly what I teach are classes for our majors, and actually every class I've taught this year is only offered once a year. So it's really important that our students get to class, and we sort of do whatever we can to accommodate them. And actually, we had to move a classroom this quarter. I actually added too many students. You try to be sympathetic.
In terms of waitlist, again, we have no idea what the sort of individual needs are of each student based on the waitlist. So number one on the waitlist might be, a freshman who might, will have the opportunity to take this class several more times, and that sort of thing.
I'm not a big fan of it. It seems like, for the most part, you can't get into the classes that you're shooting for if you have a bad rotation.
It doesn't work. There is way too much difficulty getting into these